Hello everyone, Razorblade Mango here, and welcome to the annual Cream of the Crop video. For those who are new to the channel, this annual series is where I name my 5 favorite games of the year and give a summary as to why. 2023 was an unusually good year for video games. This is a rare year where fans of every genre got a few high-quality games to champion, and people who like to sample a variety of genres were drowning in options. It was quite overwhelming for me personally. While I missed out on some highly acclaimed joints like Dead Space Remake, Alan Wake 2, and Baldur's Gate 3, I didn't have any issues coming up with the 5 games that I feel represent 2023 for me. So, without further ado, let's dive in. For this year's honorable mentions, I want to highlight 3 titles I finished and platinumed but never got around to making videos about. The first game is Tchia from developer Awaseb. Tchia is the title I debuted my Why I'm Excited For series with, and the game itself turned out to be pretty good. It's a charming and beautiful ode to New Caledonia that has one of the more unique gameplay systems I saw last year. The second game is Viewfinder from the developer Sad Owl Studios. It's a fun puzzle game with a trippy and cool gimmick that constantly finds new ways to push its concept forward. Last but not least, the third game is Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, from Ryu ga Gotoku Studio. While I had my issues with the pacing and lackluster side content, Like a Dragon Gaiden is still a damn good time and ends Kiryu's saga on an immensely satisfying and emotional note. All 3 honorable mentions are games I can easily recommend, and I don't regret the time and money I spent on them.
Onward and upward.
Although Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the latest 2D Mario game from the wizards at Nintendo, I feel like it got overshadowed by other games in 2023. And that's a shame, because Wonder is delightful. It's been a long time since I last played a new 2D Mario game, and I was happy that my return to this type of game in the franchise was very enjoyable. It has that traditional Nintendo spirit of creativity and fun, but the experience simultaneously feels fresh and rejuvenated. The animations are exceptional, with wonderful attention to detail and bursting with personality. The gameplay quirks that pop up add new challenges and fun ways to navigate through the levels, and of course, we can't move past Wonder without talking about the crazy-ass Wonder Seed sections. From singing piranhas, to transforming into a Goomba, to riding on crawling warp pipes, this game has a staggering amount of weird and funny things that a Wonder Seed can bring out. I was concerned that these quirky effects would repeat a lot throughout the game, but outside of the rare exception here and there, every weirdo Wonder Seed effect seemed unique to their specific levels. Considering Mario is the mascot of video games, it's a little odd to call Super Mario Bros. Wonder a return to form, but I definitely think it is for 2D Mario. Paranormasight, The 7 Mysteries of Honjo is the dictionary definition of a hidden gem, thrown out to die in the cold back in March by its idiotic publisher Square Enix. This horror beauty was something I unfortunately didn't discover until later in the year. But, as they say, better late than never, because Paranormasight is right up my alley. This supernatural horror mystery visual novel combines beautiful art direction, a compelling story, and some clever gameplay tricks to create one of the most unique games of 2023. But the clear star of the show is the game's incredible soundtrack by Hidenori Iwasaki, because I think it elevates the experience to another level. When I booted up the title screen for the first time, and heard the game's extraordinary main theme, I knew I was in for a musical treat. It's easily my favorite soundtrack of the year. To tell you all the truth, I was originally going to make Paranormasight the honorable mention this year because of some issues I had with the game's story, especially its final ending. However, in the months after finishing it, Paranormasight stuck with me and spoke to me personally while so many other games faded away from my memory. I think it deserves to be among the main crew in this video, and I want to give it the respect and attention that Square Enix clearly did not. I have one question for Tango Gameworks. Where the hell did this come from? After trying to find their identity with frustrating and disappointing horror games like The Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo for damn near a decade, Tango finally struck gold with, of all things, a rhythm-based action game that looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. Shadow dropped back in January at Xbox's inaugural Developer Direct presentation. Hi-Fi Rush is one of the most exciting and inspired new IPs to burst onto the scene this generation, and I enjoyed it way more than I was expecting to. This game represents a best of both worlds situation for me. It takes advantage of modern hardware to deliver jaw-dropping visuals that run at a bare minimum 60 FPS, and has the extremely smooth gameplay to support its ambitions. At the same time, it evokes an old-gen spirit that I appreciate in its structure, style, and writing. Take notes, Insomniac. This is how you write a fun and goofy video game with a slight edge to it. The best part about Hi-Fi Rush for me is that it feels like a PS2 game, and that's an extremely high compliment in this case. So, well done, Tango Gameworks. It took you a while, but I'm glad you finally made it to the party. A game like Dredge is a rarity in my eyes, because it's not often I become so helplessly addicted to a game that it makes hours go by in what feels like the blink of an eye. This is another game I deeply regret not checking out at launch, but I'm so happy I ended up playing it. I fell head over heels in love with Dredge, and the main reason why is its freakishly addicting gameplay loop. Certain games are masterclasses in one or two hyper-specific things. Death Stranding is a masterclass in delivering micro-rewards to the player. Stray is a masterclass in bite-sized world building. Dredge is a masterclass in creating a satisfying gameplay loop. All of Dredge's gameplay elements, from its fishing minigames to its RE4 style inventory management to its upgrade systems, bolster and complement each other amazingly. And none of it comes across as needless fluff. This is a very lean and efficient game. During my time with it, I couldn't believe a new team filled with fresh faces to the scene made something this excellent and compelling. Dredge is the type of game that reminds me why I love video games, and I must give the devs at Black Salt Games a massive thank you for that, and an even bigger congratulations on their well-deserved success. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is one of the best games I've ever had the pleasure of playing. Speaking as someone who merely liked Breath of the Wild and wasn't counting the days until its sequel was released, Tears of the Kingdom is the very rare, massive, and hyped up game that dramatically exceeded my expectations. If I had to pick one word to describe it, it would be rich. Artistically rich, narratively rich, rich with gameplay variety and mechanical depth, emotionally rich, you name it. This game spits at the notion that the AAA gaming industry needs fancy graphics and the latest tech to survive. Nintendo defiantly shouted back with this game that stunning art direction, a passionate vision, and creative gameplay are the real way forward. In my opinion, Tears of the Kingdom is a walking contradiction. It has the insanely big scope, mainstream appeal, and blockbuster success that the who's who of AAA game publishers would kill for. But at the same time, there is an intimacy at the heart of the experience that makes the whole thing feel very personal. Every element has that very deliberate and carefully considered attention to detail that Nintendo is famous for, and their love and care shine throughout the experience. All of this and more is why The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom stands at the top as my favorite game of 2023.